What's up, extreme kids of Ottawa and around the world? This is First Lady Kay, and I want to welcome you to your midweek story time, where we are reading my First Message Bible, a devotional Bible for kids by Eugene Peterson for ages 4 to 8. Let's see what this week's story is going to be about, extreme kids. This week, we're going to be reading David and Johnathan from 1 Samuel chapters 18 to 20. Maybe you'd like to read along in your own Bible. I want to thank you before we get started to all of the extreme kids who have done our challenges and sent in your wonderful challenge answers. It's been my pleasure to send you your wonderful gifts in the mail. Continue to do your challenges and send them to ottawachurchkids@gmail.com for your special prize in the mail. This week, David and Johnathan. So let's get started, extreme kids. Johnathan became totally committed to David, his number one advocate and friend. Johnathan, out of his deep love for David, made a covenant with him. He celebrated it with important gifts, his own royal robe and weapons, armor, sword, bow, and belt. Whatever King Saul gave David to do, he did it, and did it well. Everybody approved of and admired David's leadership. Extreme kids, here's your first challenge. If you gave a gift to someone special, what would you give them? Let's continue our story. As they returned home after David had killed the Philistine, the woman poured out of all the villages of Israel, singing and dancing. Saul kills by the thousands, David by the 10,000s. This made Saul angry, very angry. He took it as a personal insult. From that moment on, Saul kept his eye on David. Now Saul feared David. It was clear that God was with David and had left Saul. Everything David did turned out well. Yes, God was with him. As Saul more and more realized that God was with David, his fear of David increased and settled into hate. Saul hated David. David went to Johnathan. "What have I done to your father that makes him too determined to kill me?" Here's your next challenge, extreme kids. Why did King Saul hate David? It's true, as sure as God lives, and as sure as you're alive before me right now, he's determined to kill me. Johnathan said, "Tell me what you have in mind. I'll do anything for you." David said, "Tomorrow I'm scheduled to eat dinner with the king instead. I'll go hide in the field. If your father misses me, say David asked if he could run down to Bethlehem and worship with his family. If he says good, then I'm safe. But if he gets angry, you'll know for sure that he's made up his mind to kill me. If I'm in the wrong, go ahead and kill me yourself." "Never!" exclaimed Johnathan. "I'll never do that. If I get the slightest hint that my father wants to kill you, I'll tell you." Johnathan repeated his pledge of love and friendship for David. He loved David more than his own soul. On the holiday of the new moon, the king came to the table to eat. He sat where he always sat, but David's seat was empty. After Day 2, David's seat was still empty. Saul asked Johnathan, his son, "So where's the son of Jesse? He hasn't eaten with us either yesterday or today." Johnathan said, "David asked my special permission to go to Bethlehem." Saul exploded in anger at Johnathan. "Don't you think I know that you're up to something with that son of Jesse? Now go on and get him. Bring him here. For this moment, he's as good as dead." Oh no, extreme kids. Johnathan stood up to his father. "Why dead? What's he done?" Saul threw his spear at him to kill him. That convinced Johnathan that his father was decided on killing David. In the morning, Johnathan went to the field, and then they kissed one another and wept. friend over friend, David weeping especially hard. Johnathan said, "Go in peace. The two of us will be friends in God's name forever." That's a sad story, X-treme kids. This is your next prayer challenge. Let's see how we're going to pray this week. Let's thank God for your friends. Ask Him to help you be a good friend in some special way. Make a new friend by asking God to show you ways to be a friend to someone who needs one. Wow. So we're going to pray that God helps us to be a good friend to someone special, and God will also help us to make a new friend. Send us your prayers either in written form or a picture or a skit or however you want. I can't wait to see how you're praying. Now, this is our Living Out the Word challenge. Let's see what Jesus has for us today. Make a list of your friends and list the good things about each one. Then make a list of the things about yourself that makes you a good friend. The next part of this challenge is think of a friend you'd like to play with and ask permission to invite them over for a play date. You might even want to do a Zoom play date right now. That's it for this week, X-treme kids. I hope you had fun. Remember to keep dreaming extreme. This is First Lady K signing off till next week.